with concerns of poor working conditions on the part of the workforce in agencies under the Ministry of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy. The 10th Senate is considering the prayers of the heads of the agencies in granting their requests for better welfare and motivation of staff. These the Senate Committee on Arts, Culture and Creative Economy stressed on during a 2024 scorecard presentation and 2025 budget defense session of the parastatals of the ministry.
The attention it deserves from the envelopes given to each and every agency under this ministry. We will all agree that it's a far cry from what is expected. But we will sit down, we will discuss with ourselves and then see how best we can come around it, because we believe each and every agency that is seated here today is capable of generating billions for this country. And you cannot do that if you are not adequately funded. And so, before we listen to you one after the other, I want you to be just as brief as possible. Be as brief as possible. You just run through what your envelope is. I'm going to plead with my colleagues so that we don't just see how an agency can be created and no single kobo was given to it from January to December. What are you keeping those people here? So I will call for comments from my colleagues, if any. If not, then we will just hear you one by one and we will close.
Look at our 22 locations nationally. Look at the states of those offices and the lack of facilities that we have. A multiple of 10 would be a good start. It wouldn't actually be a multiple of 10. To go from, we have one in terms of capital. We're at about 10, I think we can make a significant impact. What you're able to then do is retrain the staff, give them the tools, and then you can expand the economic space.
If you're given 10, how much can you generate in a year?
10 billion. I don't want to do a thumbs up, but I think if we're given the status to be able to license on certain things, to give an example, just in Christmas in Lagos, I think hotels, bars, lounges probably generated about 40 billion naira. If they were paying a small percentage to us, we don't need to be talking to everybody about funds. Do you understand? So it's a difficult thing to answer just like that, simply because we don't yet have the lines in terms of how we will be able to collect revenue. But in terms of the opportunity, with that kind of funds, we'll be able to sort out legal status, we'll be able to empower and connect our offices. Our offices have been changed to creative hubs, so they're co-working spaces so that people can come into them. And I think, I really just don't want to make a projection like that, but I think we can submit something to you, sir, which I can submit something in writing, which at least will give you an indication of what we think is possible.
So the breakdown of it is, for our capital is 444 million,
400 million.
400 million. The overhead is 455 million, 979,774. Personnel cost chunks up the entire budget at 5 billion, 106 million, 793,066 naira and 95 kobo.
You think if you are given the opportunity, you can generate funds?
Contributes about 190 to 250 million euros to their GDP yearly. And the National Gallery of Arts sorry, are the custodians of the national collection. These are artworks that were bought with Nigerian funds and are kept in storage because of lack of proper National Gallery edifice. And these artworks, we have in possession the artworks of very prominent Nigerians like Ben Owos, Ned Owos, Yusuf Rilos, and the likes of them. I don't think I need to tell anybody the price of, or maybe just for the sake of this conversation, the latest price, excuse me, the latest price for a Ben Owo artwork was upwards of $1 or $2 million. We have about 5, 6, 7 million. $1.2 million. That was the last artwork that was sold, I think, at the Sotheby's last 2 years.
So with one artwork, you can get $1.2 million.
Yes, sir.
And you are giving only 400 million to
Only 400 million. We have over 3,700 pieces of artworks that are
How many?
in storage. 3,700, sir.
collections.
Collection, the Nigerian collection.
So much please. This is 320 collections.
3,000.
3,000 collections.
Yes, sir. Over 3,000.
Over 3,000. And one of that collections is over $1 million.
Are you selling it?
No, sir.
They are not giving.
They are assets of the Federal Republic.
So why are they keeping it and they can't fund people?
Your mic.
Why are they keeping it and they can't fund people?
Sir, my dream is, before the end of this administration, to have a national gallery edifice where all these artworks will be showcased.
So what do you want us to do with this for you as a parliament?
As a parliament, I think, for starters, a strong position on the need to establish a national gallery edifice. It is about time. This agency is 30 plus years old, and it is a shame that a country like Nigeria does not have a national gallery where these artworks will be showcased.
Okay, have you done any proposal or plan or meeting plan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it part of? Can we have it? Can committee
Yes,
have
I
it?
will share it to the committee, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes. Next.
The former Minister of Information.
Without the involvement of the agency?
Without the involvement, sir.
So you don't know the terms and conditions of the MOU?
We don't know, sir.
Is it operational now?
That is the constraint now.
They
They have renovated it
and locked it up.
and it's under lock and key. And the edifice is of global outlook as we speak. And it's a thing that when it's released to us, we will generate a lot of revenue from that. As we speak, even our clients, old clients, are disturbing us that they want to make use of that edifice.
Do you have a copy of the MOU?
No.
But there was time I was saying that they want to privatize the place.
Sir?
There was time I read something like that government wants to privatize the national theatre.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Okay, it didn't work. But they had intention.
They had intention.
Okay. So you are saying that the place does not work again now?
Yes, as we speak.
For what reason?
For the fact that what we had in the MOU was this. They said after renovation, they were going to make use of it to get their money back for some years.
So you say you are not privy to the content of the
It's a hearsay.
Okay, if we want to have access to the MOU, who do we contact? The ministry?
The ministry, sir.
About 10 parastatals under the ministry defended their budget proposals for this fiscal year from an estimate of 760 million naira to 3 billion naira, with an estimated 6.9 billion naira by the Federal Ministry of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy, capping it all up. Considering the envelopes of the previous year and their performances, agencies lamented on poor working environment due to inadequate funding despite proceeds from the industry of arts, culture and creative economy.
National Council for Museum and Monument.
120,000.
736 now. Our capital expenditure, 398 million, 737,435.
Out of 10 billion,
Yes,
your capital
it's 300.
is 300 million.
Yes,
How much were you given last year?
1.2.
1.2 billion.
Yes, sir.
How much were you given for capital last year?
1.2 billion.
1.2 million.
1.2 billion last year.
1.2 billion.
Yes,
From January to December.
yes, sir.
For what purpose?
So, our capital expenditure, infrastructure upgrades to make the NCMM revenue generating. For people to pay to come to the museum, I believe the museum has to have something to offer the people. So definitely the investment in the museum ecosystem is what will go a long way in ensuring that people actually want to pay and actually come and see the priceless artifacts that we have. And I just want to add that the NCMN has 53 museums across the entire country. We have 65 national monuments, and we have a zoo. And we employ a total of 2,600 plus personnel. The percentage release was 9.35%.
For recording.
For our capital. Yes. For personnel and overheads, 100% released.
What's the likely staff strength? Because
Our staff strength is 2,000.
personnel is very high.
Yes, our staff strength is over 2,600 personnel across 53 museums across the country. Yes. The vast majority of the museum ecosystem in Nigeria, sadly, is at subpar standard. A lot of the facilities are run down. A lot of the roofs and a lot of the infrastructure is outdated. Some of our exhibitions have been the same since the 1980s and 70s. The museum in Lagos, I don't think has been renovated in the last 40 years. And I think a lot of people that went there as students will be surprised that the museum pretty much looks the same.
988, 347, and 777 naira, out of which personnel cost is 2,345,965,259 for 478 staff across the country. We have 6 zonal offices and 28 state centers. Our overhead for 2025 is 328 million and 482,000, while our capital for 2025 is 313 million 899,875 for an institution that has 6 zonal offices and 28 state centers.
Our capital is 525,744,844. Then the personnel is 1,138,462,924 naira 66 kobo. And the overhead is 270,997,675 naira. Not really, but under the institution, that's the national.
What does your act provide?
Oh, it's film development. Right.
And are you supposed to generate revenue for the government?
Yeah, we generate through the institution, then a couple of activities we do like rentals of equipment. But we have issues because when the agency was set up, it was all about making films on cellular. And now cellular is no longer in vogue. We're now we've gone digital and we don't have studios do such functions. That's one. Secondly, we don't have equipment to rent out to be able to generate revenue. And besides that, we plan to do things like film tourism, yes, then film distribution and marketing, which is part of our mandate. And we run a film festival called the Zuma Film Festival. We don't even have enough funding for it because we need to engage foreign partners. We're constrained, we can't be able to do that. So under all this, we can be able to generate more revenue.
It indeed does not call for a lot of smile, because when you look at the situation where an organization is called National Institute for Cultural Orientation, and you'll understand that the whole basis, the fundamental basis of survival of such a country is based on appreciation of its culture. Any country who does not appreciate its culture cannot grow. Therefore, Nigeria has neglected its culture for too long, to the extent that we're actually operating English and Arab cultures in Nigeria. And if you see why we're not progressing, it's not too far-fetched. You can understand why. Our laws are predicated on British culture. Our social life is either predicated on British culture or Arab culture. So how do we grow? Now we came with ideas that can generate about $20 billion US, $6 billion US, and about 2 billion naira. We presented this in the budget, and the budget returned without cognizance to those feet. And I wonder, we made efforts to protest to the presidency to say, look, Nigeria is in trouble. We all know our economy is going down. The only way we can survive is to generate income. We have proposed how to generate humongous income, yet it is not taken into any cognizance. The presidency replied and directed our minister to discuss with the Minister of Budget. As I speak, I do not know how far that is gone. There has not been any contact to us to say anything has happened. So it leaves us in a lot of confusion and a bit of dilemma. And that's why I wasn't smiling, Mr. Chairman. But I do hope that I know that there is a smile on my face before I get there. That is a lot of joy.
The total is 1 billion. The national is 1 billion 404 million 76,280. The total amount is 1 billion 404 million 76,284. Our personnel cost is 608 million 23,298. While our overhead is 285 million 512,479, and our capital is 500,540. 500 million. Sorry, 500 million 540,507.
So your capital is 500 million.
Yes, sir.
Without anything to do, no matter the idea that you have, if you say you are going to use your labor, your hand to get it done, you can just achieve a few hectares, if you can achieve an hectare. But you are left stranded without an implement. As such, we are going to make your case to the National Assembly through the President of the Senate that the Budget Office is not fair to you. If an agency has the capability of selling one single item or one piece of art to generate $1.2 million and is left without an office, and these pieces of art are cramped in an office without being sorted out, then you know that they are just punishing the chief executive. I was discussing with the DG of National Council for Art and Culture, He told me that a friend visited his office and just saw some pieces of art lying down. He told him that, do you know that each of this piece of art is worth 400 million euro? And it's just lying waste in the corridor. As such, we will present your case or your issues to the appropriation committee through the President of the Senate to see if each and every of your envelopes could be reviewed. I think it is not fair, and there is nobody that can blame you for not achieving your target because you are not given the tools. So I would want to give my colleagues the opportunity to offer their what after my colleague.
Mr. Chairman, the starting point is to bring the minister and the permanent secretary to this committee room so that they tell us why these agencies are not working and they are not making efforts to make them work. Because if there is no preparation for them, they can't work. It's as simple as that. Thank you.
Sincerely, I thought the minister is here. In my address, I also made reference to the minister. It is worthwhile that as the leader of the ministry, he should be able to present his budget, make a case everywhere at any time. And where need be, the minister has to bring forward his challenges to the knowledge of the committee, particularly the chairman, so that Mr. Chairman will also take it up from wherever the minister may have stopped. And if that does not happen, and we only come here to see that you have no proper budget to function, then what are you even coming to defend? You have no budget, you are coming to defend. Are you coming to defend just your salaries? And I don't think that is the motive of Mr. President appointing both the minister and having the ministry to function. And Nigerians want to see the functionality of the ministry, so that there are issues that Nigerians want to see, Nigerians want to achieve. The world is now a competitive village, and so if you don't operate, if you are not active, we cannot meet up with our peers elsewhere. And so I want to sincerely align myself with the earlier submission.
Vice Chairman, my colleague, like you said, it's not that some of them do not have jobs to do. I know Aline, who is a popular celebrity in Nigeria, he left his celebrity status out of patriotism to come and serve. I'm sure he is not happy. I told him this morning that he has grown older within the last few months, that he has come to office than when he was in the celebrity status. I know Mr. Sika and Mr. Lua, some of them have left the diaspora to come and serve out of patriotism. And I'm sure they are all disappointed as they have come in. Like the DJ of Naeko has said, if you are given an assignment, you want to discharge that assignment with all sense of patriotism, but your hands are tied. What else can you do? Even if you kill yourself, situations cannot change. And this is why we are always craving that there should be a good rapport between your agencies and that of the National Assembly. These two bodies must work together always to make sure that at least we help you do your jobs better. The minister is not here. She has not written as to why she is not going to be here. She has not even sent her pamphlet to be here. This does not call for a good relationship between two partners. As such, we decided to pick the agencies today because you have come from far and wide. Some of you have come from Lagos, some from Jos, and so on. And it would be unfair for us to just tell you to go back. And that's why we've decided to pick on, to listen to you today. However, the day that your minister is going to be invited to come back here, we'll crave your indulgence to be here with her, because we want to find out whether she's aware of your predicaments. We want to find out if she's aware, because the day the national troop showed me the office that they were staying, I felt ashamed. I felt ashamed. And I'm sure nobody, even if you're coming from the ghetto, will accept working in the environment she has subjected herself to work. So we will dissolve into an executive session now for just 10 minutes. It's just going to be a brief meeting between the members of the committee and the chief executives. But I want this to be on record, please. Wait. Sit down. Sit down, wait. Gentlemen, sit down. Gentlemen, the DGs and the MDs, if at all there is anybody with that status. I want to sincerely apologize to you personally for the environment you have been subjected to operate from. I feel sorry. I feel sorry for you, because like my advice said, if he were in your shoes, he would have left the job and gone. But it doesn't mean that he's not patriotic. But you people have agreed to stay. I'm sure maybe some of you just accepted and agreed to stay because you want to improve your CV, that you were once DG of this, DG of that. If not, you cannot subject yourself to this punishment. So we assure you that this committee will do its best to improve the lot of the situation you have found yourselves in now. Between now and the next few weeks, you will hear from us. And we will collectively see that we meet with the appropriation committee through the the Senate President's office, and then when the minister comes, we will tie the knots together. So this committee is dissolved into an executive session.
Having acknowledged their prayers for consideration with the appropriation committee of the Red Chamber, the committee summoned the minister to appear before it during its next sitting.